5 girls hitting on me. I've been to places in California where I've been to some places where there were little kids, where people were trying to sell these little kids.
Oh, wow.
I've seen a lot of shit that I just blew my mind.
Now, what he said there was he's seen it. So did he see transactions?
Hello. We don't have an intro because I used to do one, but it just is a waste of time. I want to get to the point why we're here together, which is going to be on Summer Wells again today. I don't know if you were with us last time, but that was quite interesting. We're going to be talking about some of that today. Also, why did a vehicle disappear on the day that Summer went missing? We no longer see a vehicle that was at the property of 110 Ben Hill. Like, I went back and was listening to an old, year-old thing, and somebody asked a question. Well, it was Prayer Garden, who knows the case very well, was asking a question about a vehicle that Wells had, and she shows all these clips of Candace and Summer in the vehicle, of the kids by the vehicle. Oh yeah, it's red too, and it's not a car. Anyway, we'll be looking at that and trying to understand where it went for 3 years, because the vehicle goes away. I kid you not. When Summer goes missing, it's nowhere on the property as early as before they even have cadaver dogs here. This car is gone. This, not car, but vehicle. Make you wonder. And then it's 3 years later, so last year, the vehicle got brought back. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the Panda Bear Club, kind of like what we talked about last time. We're going to be talking about Hunter and the boys on the hill. And everything I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to preference with it being alleged. It's in our opinion. I do not share everyone's opinion. I do read their opinion, but I do agree with a lot of what is said by you guys, because you're just smart. You got common sense. But the thing is, this is going to sound so strange the way I'm phrasing it. But have you ever known somebody that's telling you the truth without telling you the truth? You know what I mean? Like, they're telling you the truth, they're just not telling you the whole story. And is that exactly what Candace and Dawn are doing? Because did they do just asking questions? Could they have? Did they do the unthinkable with Summer, and it went completely awry? So much of what Dawn and Candace have said from day one starts making sense if we look at it in a different way. Now, some of you are like, the reason Summer's missing is premeditated. It was related to CPS and so forth. Perhaps so. Some of you feel that there was potentially an accident. Maybe somebody backed over Summer. Could that have happened? That's possible. But a lot of people believe that there was trafficking going on the hill. A lot. Then you have the parents, especially Don the dad, alluding to Summer in some very horrific situations related to trafficking. That's his worry. That's where he thinks she would be, is being trafficked. So you have to ask a lot of these questions, like where are we going with this? So I thought today we would explore very cautiously some things here. So welcome to 11 True Crime, if I did not welcome you already. We have a live audience, which I'm going to say hello to a few of you. As well as we have an amazing replay crew. You guys are awesome. You've been hyping me up. You've been hitting like and you've been hitting subscribe. And it is definitely helping the channel. And I get a little weekly report from YouTube saying you were hyped this many times. And I'm like, holy cow. So just a huge, huge thank you. You guys are what makes this channel grow. And you keep it going. And I am impressed. And I am grateful and thankful to you. And the live audience, I'm including you in that too. Hello, Rach, not that Rach. Yeah, we're going to be talking about some of this stuff, right? Hey, Carla. Hey, Nikki UK and Debbie Smudger. Hi, Janice Golightly. Anna, Melinda, good to see you all. Hello, Jennifer Swain. I don't know who I said hello to. I kind of lost. Hi, Mary Malone. Welcome back. Hi, Kylie's. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope Damon. I'm not sure how to say your last name, love. Welcome, Hope. Good to see you. Hey, Shay, welcome back. And Melinda, CM Wilkins. Hello, everybody. We have a great deal of people here. I'm not going to sit here and say hello to each of you, so I'm going to do a big hello. Good to have you back. If you were with us on our last live, it got wild. I don't know how to explain what happened, but we were actually I'm laughing because I can't explain it. We crossed some areas that were just like, what the actual world is this? I'm now calling it the Panda Club. Do you know what a panda bear represents, okay? Which is a pedo, right? Panda represents pedo. We're just going to leave it there for that part. So I don't want to keep saying the business name. I don't want to get any issues with the business. So we're going to call the business that we were discussing in the last video the Panda Club. And it's a private club. Private Panda Club. And it's all boy club. All boy. Can't do it if you're a girl. I got blocked instantly for asking if I could join. Obviously, they could see my picture and knew I was a girl. So why is any of that important? Well, it's 15 miles from Summer's home. Not 50. 15. 15. 15 miles from Summer's home. And you'd be like, okay, well, I don't know, because FBI is over there on Van Hill Road. They're really into Paul Hill's place. Not that we think he did anything. But I do want to bring up, y'all, they went in his house. That's getting kind of personal. I don't think the general public has access to the inner of the house. At least that's what I understand, is that they actually investigated his home, too. I don't know what they thought they were going to find. But I'm going to tell you that the Panda Club is neighbors to Paul Hill. Huh? How about them apples? Neighbors. Like 4.5 miles from Paul Hill. And on Van Hill Road. So where the searchers were searching, allegedly, searchers, I'll call them investigators, because it was like everybody and their brother and 15 cars were over at Paul Hill's. And, TBI, FBI, all kinds of investigators. And they also went across the road and into those woods. Now this gets a little bit weird. So let's go Paul Hill's house, right? And then you come down the road and you've got the Panda Bear Club, right? The private Panda Bear All Boys Club right here. And that's across the road, kitty corner, like this. Guess where the feds are searching? Right here across the road from Paul's, which this area extends towards Paul Hill by a lot. And their last location towards Paul Hill, deep, deep in them Tennessee woods and mountains, is their lodge. Now, I'm going to show you why we call it the Panda Bear Club. you'll see why. I'm going to explain to you a little bit about it. It's an all-male club, no girls allowed. Clothing are optional. It is a private members place that you have to be approved and pay your yearly due of a whole $20 to get into. And then you can go camping or you can stay in one of their glass houses. If you really want to know the details, they have a complete agenda of events. Everything from fetish to kinkies to I'm your daddy kind of thing going on. Each time there's a little, every couple weeks they have an event. We went over the entire list in the last video, which is where we got all like, yeah, it went off the deep end. It was wild. So why am I even bringing all that up? Well, I'm wondering if the investigators haven't quite gone far enough on Van Hill Road. Okay, I'm not accusing the Panda Bear Club of anything. I'm just saying, let's put it this way. If you had 110 Bill, let's say 110 Bill, I can't talk. Let's pretend that 110 Ben Hill Road was a peanut farm. Made peanuts, okay? And then think of the Panda Bear Club as a peanut factory. Now peanuts come missing from 110 Ben Hill Road, and you're wondering, could they have taken the peanuts? You feel me? Like, I know, it's a little out there. I'm just saying, I know those theme nights, Nikki, were just crazy. I know, right? I think it was Rach that came up with Self-Appreciation Night, which was hysterical. Oh, Allison, are you not feeling well? Let me find Allison real quick. Oh, my chat is frozen. There it goes. Hey, Anna D. Hey, Heather. How are you? Grubby Goat in the house. Hey, Kimberly. Welcome back, lovely. Okay. So I was doing a lot of thinking of all of this, and I was like, you know what's so weird to me? Is that we've all thought of how Candace and Dawn have been accused by the general public in so many ways of possibly essaying not only Summer, but possibly even the boys. We notice that Candace hangs around the young teenage boys, and so does Dawn. And we've heard all about rumors from Allison, who has passed, that was Hunter's mother, about them having parties up on the hill and how all kinds of things happened up there. And that's why when she left, she wanted her kids off that hill, right? We know that Candace and Hunter both admit that Candace gave Hunter at least one twisted tea, which is alcohol. He was 15. She also got vapes. He alleged that she gave him one. She alleges he just took it. So that's smoke. And then you have to wonder what other kind of things that were being given to minors. So we've all heard also, if you're familiar with this case with Little Summer, Jody Sue alleged, and take it with a grain of salt, but when you start adding up that Allison and Jody Sue, Allison's mother even suggested that she believed JLR asked her if there was SA going on in that home. And Allison's mom was like, yep. Jose, when he was there, was telling us he rescued Summer from the shower. That was weird because of what was going on in there. He couldn't let it happen anymore. And I'm like, oh, God. You got Dolly Vision telling us that shower's about 3 feet by 3 feet and that your face is up against somebody's junk if you're 5. That's horrible. You got Jody Sue telling us that Summer come to the door butt naked. right? Buck naked, right to the door, wanting a towel. That's alarming. It really gets concerning, and it makes you think a lot about the unthinkable. So I began to think about, what if that call, now pay close attention, because this is going to be heartbreaking, but this really has been sticking with me for a while, and I think I might be right. Now, you may disagree. Feel free to. I pray I'm wrong. But we're going to do the trigger warning, which is the goat, so we're going to get serious for a very important moment. So Hunter alleged that when they were in the drive-thru in the vehicle waiting at Walgreens drive-thru with Grandis and Candace and Summer and Hunter, that Dawn called Candace. And what he said many, many times. He's repeated it many, many times over the years. He still says it to this day. When his dad asks him about it, he doesn't deny it. He says, and this is early, Summer's in the car, they're going through the drive-thru. You and I both know that if you're getting a pain medication through a pharmacy, it's going to be time-stamped for federal reasons of narcotic control. As a med tech, I promise you that Walgreens knows the exact second that those pills were handed over. So the timing's important because it's earlier than the time that Summer would have allegedly went missing. So it's pre. Which almost led me to believe that this could be what really took place, and how it would make sense if Candace and Dawn are telling the truth without telling the truth, because they did something unthinkable. Donnie is alleging that he's at work this whole time. Hunter claims Donnie went to work but came home early. Hunter says that the boys went to work with Dawn. We know that the boys were home by the middle part of the day. We all feel, through everything that we've done, we all feel almost as a collective that it's very likely that Dawn was home, which would mean he would have been home with the boys, and this is how this call would have went. So Hunter made the alleged claim that there was some guy on the property, quote, wanting to touch the kids. You're like, yeah, I know, I've heard that before. Listen again. There is a guy on the property wanting to touch the kids. Not trying to touch the kids, wanting to. It almost sounds like an opening. Like if you had tires, right, for sale. Okay, you advertised your tires, and your wife has the tires in her car. You might call her and be like, hey, hon, yeah, I got a guy wanting to look at those tires. Are you feeling me? Like, was this a deal? Is this how they're paying for the red car? Everybody's going to be like, Don made good money. He drank and drugged it away. I don't care how good of money he made. I'm asking you if this is where Candace and Dawn were getting extra money. Could it be that that was a customer? Because if your child went missing that day and you had kicked a guy off your property, like you had kicked a guy off your property that was wanting to touch your children, you would have a complete description. You probably would have chased him until you saw his vehicle. you would know damn sure that that'd be one of the things that would explode from your mouth as soon as your kid is missing and you're talking to the cop. There was a guy on my property. There was a guy on my property trying to get my kids. But that never happened. It was just like, never happened kind of thing on Candace and Dawn's end. But yet, even though I think Hunter's full of crap 90% of the time, this happened from the beginning. He has stuck through that through thick and thin. It doesn't even serve him a purpose. He's like, I don't know what that was about. So was Dawn there with the boys and had somebody come a-calling? Hey, got a couple bucks for you, or a couple, something for you. But I just want to spend a little time with your kids. Creepy. Ugh. So I grabbed, my mouse always sits over here, but I had set the goat down and I grabbed it as if it was my mouse. All right, trigger warning. Here we go. Now you've seen all this 1,000 times, but it's all going to come together a little different, I think. See, Summer. Quinkydink, maybe. Now, Dawn and Candace are saying that this red barrel was used at the end of the driveway to sell tires. That they did it because they had tires for sale. Yet Dawn claims that his tools are always missing from his garages and sheds. That everything's always stolen. Would you put good tires down there at the end of the driveway with a for sale? They'd be gone, right? According to everything Dawn tells us and Candace, because, the whole tribe of druggies that head down there to pick up their, what have yous from the Hill clan down there, Fred, who got charged, served time for being a dealer, right? Okay. Allegedly, in case I'm wrong, but... So, if you put that down there, are you really selling tires? Even if you keep the tires up by your house, but you put the for sale sign down at the bottom, that's kind of creepy when the video is of the child jumping in front of the red for sale barrel. In the rain. Who's going to want... Kathy Rivas says, I bet his tools are junk. Who's going to steal that shit, right? It's a huge lie. Could be. Hope says, hello, no tires, would be gone. So, Candace and Dawn, let's go back to the Chris McDonough thing, right? He goes down in the dungeon, basement, Summer's bedroom area, and they got Girls Gone Wild on the TV. Candace is giving young boys twisted teas and vapes. This is, by all technical standards, could easily be seen, in my humble opinion, as grooming. As a grooming thing. But why would you be grooming young men? Oh, let's find out why you would be grooming young men. I'm going to take you to Panda Bear Club. Pay close attention to Panda Bear Club.
This is your information.
Vroom, vroom. Wah, pa, 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 zaddy.
4.5 miles away from Paul Hill's place, and it's on Van Hill.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. Wah, pa, 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 zaddy.
You feel me? An all-boys club? Is that why Summer's head's shaved? Because sure, it could be lice, could be jealousy, it could be a lot of things, but could it be to make her look more like a boy? I'm going to read you. I read it last time too, but I'm going to go down. I'm going to refresh your memory. These are some of the actual, what do you call it? What do you call that when someone leaves their thoughts on your place? Review of the Panda Bear Club. That's right there on Van Hill, neighbor to Paul Hill. I've always enjoyed going to Timber Fell. I said the name. But it sure is different. Some good, some bad. Start with the good. The grounds are beautiful. The new owners have done a tremendous amount of remodeling building, and it looks wonderful. The bad. Unfortunately, the maintenance is horrible. It appears the circulation pump on the pool, and this is going to gross you out when you read the next one about what happens in the pool. Okay? But this person says it appears the circulation pump on the pool doesn't work because water is not moving. It's just sitting there getting nasty. The bathroom at the pool smells horrible. The steam room is now used to store vacuum cleaners. The bathroom is an annex and is filthy dirty. You can never find an employee. The gate is broken. So much for members only, right? The gate is broken so you can just come and go as you want, which is actually pretty convenient since there are never any employees around to help. They did build a playroom, which can be a fun place in theory. Gross. This one is so musky, you can't stand to be in it long, and the booths are pretty much a joke. The lodge is pretty much abandoned with a broken down hot tub on the porch. I remember it was normal for employees to be all over the place asking if you needed anything or wanted anything. Not anymore. Customer service is gone. I don't want to sound mean, but the owners are going to have to do better. Fix the stuff that is broken or sell the place to someone that will. It's a beautiful place, but it's not being run like a business should be. This is the other review, and it's disgusting. My husband and I moved to Tennessee from the West Coast. We spent years going to CCR in Phoenix, and we were hoping for something similar. Overall, the staff was friendly, but not conversational nor particularly welcoming. As for the guests, after walking around checking out the place, one person said hello to us. We then changed and went to the pool. In 3 hours by the pool, we said hello to several people, but no one really spoke to us. Overall, other than seeing a few Palm Springs bathhouse scenes as we were walking around, and 2 BJs in the pool, the experience was disappointing. We weren't there for X, and no one talking to people outside of their immediate group, so we gave it a 1 out of 5. Most likely won't be back. While I appreciate the owner's quick response, I don't appreciate the owner's Donald response by calling me names. My initial comments were solely observations and personal opinions regarding whether the establishment met our expectation, not an attack or impugnment of its character. And I'm choking. The owner's decision to resort to name calling and deny points of corroborated by multiple friends speaking volumes about him. Nevertheless, Timber Fell remains beautifully situated with seemingly nice amenities with what appears to be a well-established core group of visitors. So, clothing's optional, all-male club that has apparently fallen into whatever these people are describing. Boys have had their heads shaved. We have a lot of pictures where their heads were shaved. So when you look at this,
Also, I met not Frank, but his brothers on my motorcycle.
This is the place.
We were searching for that other girl that got gone, and
There's the
that's when I
lodge.
met them.
Actually,
and
the
we
lodge
got
is over
talking,
here. I
him
don't
and
know
his
who
wife,
did this,
and
but
they decided to go one way, and I went the other because I had a dirt bike and they had horses. And TBI has used him
Caleb.
in the search for Summer.
let's just speed this up so I can show you. I want to show you the location. So right here you can see if you come out into this road right here and you turn right, you're going to go 4.5 miles down the road, and that's where Paul Hill on Van Hill lives. And I find that disturbing. I find that really, really disturbing. When Candace and Dawn are supplying rugs, allegedly, alcohol, vapes, girls gone wild, why are they grooming boys? Why is Dawn over on Van Hill so often? Think about that one. He wrecks the Subaru, the red Subaru, over on Van Hill, and Paul Hill is the one that gives him a ride home. So he wrecks the Subaru on Van Hill. There's not that many places to be on Van Hill. Also, on the night that he decided to go out and look for Summer, he got drunk and said he was going to find Summer. He went to Van Hill and ended up with a DUI on Van Hill in the same area. That's where the feds are. Dawn admittedly had an intimate relationship with his stepsister, who was only 5, and he is 12, allegedly. Dawn broke into a place and stole red underwear and then hid from the cops. This is all perverted behavior, and he's hanging out on that Van Hill Road an awful lot, in my opinion. Is he going, and is he a member of the Panda Bear Club? Could he have been helping groom individuals, and then, like Jody Sue said, the individuals would be rugged and the Panda Bears would come up to 110 Ben Hill Road, pay some dues, and take advantage of the littles? Were they peanut picking? Remember, Dawn calls well before Summer went missing, tells Candace, yeah, there's a guy up on the hill that wants to touch the kids. Why didn't she get hysterical? Why didn't they call 911? So then I got to wondering a little bit. We've all heard the voice in the Milk video, right? It doesn't sound like Grandma to me. And I know a lot of you don't think it sounds like Grandma either. That says no. So there was a viewer on here that said that Marlene, who was friends with Candace, who had Journey as a little girl, and I believe Journey got taken away from her too, said that that was a completely different day. That happened with her in the car. That she's in the front seat and she's the one filming. And I was like, how can that be true? But then think about TBI. You got Ronnie Hawkins, or Ronnie Lawson of Hawkins County. He's talking to the lady that worked for him for 27 years. And she's saying that he asked her, where's the missing 4 hours? Well, if that video of Summer in the back seat was from that day, wouldn't that give him an idea where she was? And it wouldn't be 4 hours? It would be 3 hours? I'm just trying to sort this out. Are you guys feeling what I'm saying? Hey, Amy Conway, good to see you, my love. Haven't seen you in a while. Happy holidays, Mama D, to you and your family. Baby Diamond, I thought he said he was going to get cigarettes. Yeah, but he also was drunk and saying he was just looking for summer and getting smokes. You know, it depends on what interview you listen to him on. Lynn, we need you to infiltrate the Panda Club for us. That could be horrifying. Right. Tara Foster says, yep, I heard it was Marlena in the truck. That's wow. That's wild. Deborah Hahn, if you're going to send me a theory or something, I would rather you share it with everybody. But if you had actual information, then you could email it to me. Benjamin says, I'm no expert, but TBI needs to be tipped about this beyond the reasonable doubt. I haven't solved anything. I'm just showing you information, lovely. I wish I had a way to find Summer. Thank you, BB. Medicated Mama, I bet the church members did go to that club. Robin looks so innocent, but I bet she's sleeping with all the bad boys in town. She just gives me those vibes. Just your opinion. Thank you, lovely. Just a picture of Summer. Deborah, do you have something that is a tip or something? You should send it to TBI. But if it's something about the Panda Club or something like that, you can send me information and the mods will drop my email. But please don't send me your theory. Okay. Here we go, you guys. That was Marlena, says BB Diamond. A lot of people believe that. Hey, Amputee, good to see you. Hey, Smudger. Hey, Kathy Jenkins. Good to see you all. All right, let's keep rolling. Now, I wondered, could they have dropped Summer off early? Grandis seems to not know much about Warrior's path, right? It's almost as if Candace went home. Grandma Candace went home and took a nap because she's like, I think that it was Warrior's path. She would know if she had been there. So she's really having a hard time thinking. And she does make the comment of she took a nap, but if you go with everything Candace told us, there's no time for a nap, right? For Summer to go missing. There's just not enough time. So what if Candace comes home because Donnie said that there was a customer? I'm just asking, what if? Throw spaghetti at the wall. So Candace would come home with Summer and drop off Grandma, and then she would go alone to take Hunter home. That would make sense for the 911 call where we get the mother went on a walk, but it'd really be a run, right? Running Hunter home. And then what if Donnie is there and making the deal down at the shed? You know what I'm saying, Vern? He just seems so sure that he's going to see her in the resurrection. When I saw my neighbor, I knew right there something was very, very wrong. Down at that shed, right? Makes you wonder. So what if there was a deal with someone and it went very bad, and then that person left Summer in the shed or something, and she wasn't quite passed? Now you have to wonder, how would they get the child off the property? Well, we know that the dogs track the scent of Summer down the driveway. We have Jody Sue talking about a dull red, not a shiny, but a dull red, kind of burgundy or red, deep red vehicle going halfway up the driveway and then coming back down. Well, you can't turn around if you only go partial the way up. There's No place to turn the vehicle around. So somebody would have had to go up the vehicle, up the driveway, and then back all the way down. And Jody was talking about how the vehicle sounded different than nowadays cars. That it sounded like it was laboring. Well, it just so happened that before Summer went missing, they owned this van, and they still do. This van was just, in the last year, showed back up on 110 Ben Hill Road. Just showed up out of nowhere. And you think, oh, they just got a new vehicle. No. They owned this vehicle the whole time. They owned it before Summer went missing. We've got pictures of Summer in it. So I went over to Prayer Garden. God bless her soul. God bless her soul.
Remember right, because I thought it was the boat, right? The boat that might have been on top of on the other vehicle that, they sold to Kathy, right? The vehicle they gave over to Kathy. But I was thinking, because the other,
yeah,
just
I
recently
seen
made a video, right?
Tara.
And here's this red van. Here's the van. It was in the video recently. Now, this is also a red van that was up there when Summer went missing. This red van's been there for a long time. Matter of fact, Candace took on True and Hunter and all of them to get ice cream in this van, right? Remember True talking about how they went in the van to get ice cream? And Jody Sue said that that she saw a dull red, right? Go up the driveway, and the canoe in their yard was a dull red. But so is this van. This van's a dull. It ain't a bright red like the Subaru, right? It's dull. This is a dull looking. It's an old beat up, dull looking van. Very possible. This is what Candace used June 15, 2021. Very possible because somebody's been driving it. It's moved. Somebody's been driving it, right? So it was running. And I find it kind of interesting that they haven't had this particular van in the spotlight in 3 years, right?
I did my homework. As soon as June 21st, TBI had aerial photos of their land, this van is not there. But as you're going to see, Prayer Garden's going to show you all kinds of pictures where it was running and Summer was in the vehicle many times, that they used it all the time. Then it disappears after. It gets gone with Summer, but it reappears 3 years later, and they're using it again.
3 years. It was driving it before Summer went missing, and then they kept it out of the spotlight. Now it's back in it. There it is back there. Look,
See,
it's an
there's
old
the
doll,
boy.
old doll, just like Judy Sue described, an old doll looking red.
Dull
Very
red.
very well could have been what she transported her in. Absolutely, that's what could. And Jody Sue's like, oh, it went up the driveway kind of rough, right? It wasn't sound like Don's or Grandis or Candace's vehicles. It was kind of rough. Well, I'm sure this thing would be kind of rough, right?
I'm sure
it would
too.
be kind of rough. So that's what I wanted to let people know is that particular van is has been moved. Looks like it's been being driven again, right? Looks like it's been being driven again. And why they've had it, stationary. And here's Summer in it, right here. Proof. There's proof, receipt that this van was running. Proof that Summer was in this van. There it is. Candace driving it, right? Candace driving this particular vehicle. Absolutely. And what's right there behind her? What's behind her? Summer. That's Summer
What's
back there
behind
in the
her?
seat.
Look.
Right. So Candace did drive that vehicle, right? She drove that vehicle. Look at Summer. Look at her face. Like, she's looking at Candace like, what's wrong with you, right? What's wrong with you? There's Candace. There's Candace in the red van. There they are. So yes, they definitely was, before Summer came up missing, they had been driving this. And as I said, it's back right there. It's back, been moved, right? It's moved out of the spot. Looks like it's being drove again. So
why did the red van that they were using all the time get gone the same time Summer did? And why is it back now? Where did it go for 3 years? Yeah, it showed up sometime about a year and a half ago. Back on the property. They were using it. It ran fine. Then Summer gets gone, so did the vehicle. It came back when they returned back from living in Arkansas. How interesting is that? Now, I have your attention. Let's look at this. Oh no! They took it. Okay. That's okay. We can still work with it because there's words below. I want you to pay close attention to this. I went to the site, and this is Monday, June. This is an actual timeline of Summer's case on Channel 8. But it says Monday, June 21st. Summer went missing 6 days prior, right? This is going to show you. Let me just grab it and run it. Hold on, let me show you the part. So this was 6 days after Summer went missing. Right here. Officials said K9 teams specialized in air scent, trailing, tracking, and cadaver dogs, right? Let's go back. Let's freeze it there. Officials said K9 teams specializing in air scent, trailing, tracking, and cadaver dogs are all being used in the search efforts, which they started doing that on the 21st. Okay? So I decided to go find a picture of the property before the 21st so I could see if the red van was there. And as you can see, this is right from the TBI themselves. These photos give you an idea of the difficult terrain teams are dealing with during the search for 5-year-old Summer Munuta Wells. There is no red vehicle because you would see red. There is none. So then I checked even after that, and Chris McDonough went to the land, went to 110 Ben Hill Road, and I just scouted around and grabbed like every single view I could. Now it had been parked over here. You'll see a picture before Summer. Well, actually, it's after the time frame when it returns, and it gets parked over here after it returns. Aw, Helen, someone, thank you, lovely, so much for the $5 snipper chat. That is so sweet of you. Thank you, lovely. I greatly appreciate you.
Kind of raised.
Okay, so I just wanted to look at this. Look at this property. Hold on. I got to get in rhythm here. I'm finding it. This was probably the worst way to do it. But I'm looking, and I'll stop it in a minute so you can see.
Statements and early on.
So you can see this direction. All right, let's see where else we can see. There's Summer Swing. Now you can see over the hill.
Keep dropping them off.
Hi. I know. Okay.
He's talking to the dogs.
Sorry. So this is her swing.
That's this one.
This is her playground.
Yep.
Place had just been
Okay.
taken.
Look down here. I know it's hard to see, but nope. No red vehicle. Because it's not on this property. I detailed this entire property while Chris McDonough is there, and he covers
That
every
she
part
was-
of that property, and there is
All right, and this is
absolutely
where-
no red van. That's the red
On
Subaru
those-
back there.
This swing that she now has an emotional way where is
No.
treat people.
So the
Okay.
red vehicle disappears. But then, check this out. Dolly goes about a year and a half ago, and they had come back from Arkansas, I believe. And look at this. We come down here. Hold on. I got to mute it so we don't get in trouble for sound. All right. We've got the trucks. We have the school bus, but no red van. All right. But wait a minute. If you look down here, the red van came home from Arkansas. So they wait 3 years after Summer's disappearance, and they then return the red van to the property. That is just bizarre. Why was the red van gone from the time this is out by the she shed? We're going to go up here and see if we can see it. A little better, I don't know. There it is. Right there, you can see. That's not the red Subaru. That's been crushed or wrecked. Amputee, thank you, sweetheart. And Merry Christmas to you, too. Thank you for the $5 snooper chat. You say Merry Christmas, Mama D, the boys, mods, and chat. Thank you, sweetheart. Greatly appreciate that. So you can see that it's, you know, if we go back up here, this is the first time Candace shows it on Facebook. It's 3 years after Summer's been missing. It returns to the property. But yet we can watch this and you can see that it was always there. It was always there. It was being used. It was a main thing. And then it disappeared, right? It wasn't there on this day. It's just so weird. It wasn't there when Chris McDonough was there. No. It's returned after they returned from Arkansas. So the van disappeared. But now, look at this. You can see they parked the van over here by the school bus. See where it's not? The school bus is there, but it's not there. But now it is. Now it's back. Let's listen to this a minute. Vehicles of all their victims could be. Hey, good vibes. That's lovely to hear, Rach. I'm going to finally put the tree up today. I've been busy painting, decorating my home. You wish you hadn't started. You probably got overwhelmed, right? Photo from a different day. Did Grandis take it somewhere? It is a wonder. It is a wonder. I'm so glad to catch up live. Hi, Deb. Hi. Good to see you, my love. Kingsport, Tennessee, says Joe Johnson. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Did y'all see the video of Summer going through the fire? No, I saw a video where it was an illusion where the kids were standing around the little fire ring and it looked like the fire was reflecting on the camera and it was showing on her feet. That's what I saw. I don't know. Unless you're talking about something different. You could be talking about something different. House music's here. Hi, House Music. How are you, my love? Good to see you. It's been an effort. I feel you. Good vibes. Tara says, are there still cameras on Ben Hill Road or Beach Creek Road? That's a good question. I wonder that too. All right. Let's continue. Listen to this. This is very interesting.
I don't remember seeing it either.
Exactly. And, you know, and with Jody Sue saying red flash and this van disappearing and now reappearing so long after she came up missing, you know, that could be a red flag.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
they can't search something that was.
Distorted pics and photoshopped images. Who are you saying is photoshopping? Chopped up videos. Helen, someone. What do you mean? Let's talk about it. Because, you know, when I cover things about the pedo ring, right? It's amazing. It's the only time I get trolled. But I've been in true crime since 2016. And so for me, I know that if I get trolled, like we were just a little bit ago by that guy, that we're hitting a nerve, right? It just tells me I'm in the right direction. See, that's what I feel too, Mag 50 OMG. That van needs checked by TBI. Uh-huh. Aw, Good Vibes says, I love it here. It's nothing but good vibes. Here, I love it. Aw, thank you, lovely. Inzing says, Summer, your army is bringing you home forever. Our mamas and papas justice is coming. Blessings, one for all, from the beautiful Oregon coast. Aw, that's lovely. Can't look at her face. Oh, Helen's talking about Candace. Yeah, I know. I think you're talking about Candace. Right, red van, red barrel. Hunter was right since the beginning. He thinks Candace knows something. Did they sell Summer to the Panda Club? Well, Benjamin, that is the question I was preparing to ask. Did they sell peanuts to the Peanut Club? You feel me? Were they grooming kids, just like Jody Sue said? Were they buying rugs, pills, whatever, grooming the kids, and then selling to the Panda Club? Just makes you wonder. True love and light, true. Anything could have been done in that van. It's gone when they come to search with the cadaver dogs. There's no van. So, did the van get gone the same day as Summer? Was it not there when the police arrived? I'll bet you it wasn't, because they're not going to be letting vehicles leave and come and go that early. But it isn't there in their photo. When Evil entered sus, the suspects just didn't think her case would gain so much attention and be going 5 years later. Very true, love. Thank you, Helen Lovely. Love and light for all. The idea of selling sure takes our eyes off the kidnappers. Well, I'm not saying that they didn't kidnap her. I'm saying, what if that was the deal? What if Donnie was actually calling Candace the mama saying, hey, we got a customer that wants to touch the peanuts. And she was like, okay, shh, guys, I'll be coming home then. What if she dropped off all the little peanut, and what if the peanut and the grandma peanut went on back up to the hill and Candace left with Hunter and that deal happened? Because what would you be thinking? If somebody came onto your property, that's weird enough. But to know that they were trying to touch your kids would be horrific. But wanting to touch the kids makes it sound like there's a verbal exchange. Hey, what are you doing on my property? Yeah, I just want to touch the peanuts. And when you don't get a response that there was any call for help, just some nonchalant call through the drive-thru. Can you imagine if your kid was at home? Let's just say this. Let's say you had kids at home and your husband called you and said, hey, some guy wants to touch the kids. Would you not be freaking the Fudge at Christmas out? But Candace, she admits the call happened. That's right, Enzine. What is done in the dark always comes to light. Slap it like you mean it. Thank you, PT. Deb Rich, yes. They underestimate us, not letting this beautiful soul disappear. Correct. Good Vibes says, you're simply the best. We love all of our 1111 family. Today, tomorrow, and always and forever. True. Where did she get the money that day to go shopping? Because Donnie didn't seem to like to give him money. Love and Light says, I knew this case, but I've listened to Don and Candace, and I see nothing but heartbreak. I know that's not the norm. What do you think? I can't even get into it in one show. I know, that's what I was thinking. It's premeditated, right? It's before the child goes missing. You would think that anyone being on that property trespassing would be looked at as a primary suspect. Number two, if they even mentioned your kids, let alone touching them, You'd be like, he had short hair, blonde eyes, he had this kind of an accent, he was about 5'9", he was stocky build, he weighed 165, he had a plaid shirt, blue jeans, a pair of black boots. It would just roll off your tongue, you'd be adamant about it. But yet Dawn and Candace never once think to throw the attention and suspicion toward a guy that trespassed allegedly on their property the day their child went missing. A guy that wants to touch their kids, not is trying, but wants. It sounds like a deal to me. It sounds like a peanut deal, so that there could be these panda bears that are coming up on the property, paying a little something for Donnie, something to sniff, right? So that these people can do what they'd like to the little peanuts. Now the question is, did one of the panda bears crush the little peanut and leave it lay there in just a shell? And did Dawn and Candace use the red vehicle to get the red van that just somehow no longer is there on the property for 3 years to remove the peanut? Or was the peanut taken by the panda bear? Are Dawn and Candace telling us the truth without telling us the truth? She was abducted. She's probably being trafficked. Because was she being trafficked to start with? Is that what they're hiding? Is the deal that they don't talk about? I thought pandas like boys. We're talking about pedos that like, a lot of them like any of the little peanuts. Like, it don't matter when it comes to the little peanuts. Okay? They could be on both sides of the team on that. Dawn and Candace says amputee have been very suspicious to me as they don't show up any sadness or remorse, and they haven't ever searched for their daughter either. And they burnt the flyers, right? Mary has actually got a call or something that she can produce that proves that Dawn was burning stacks of Summer's missing posters. The way they're acting about Van Hill as if it's nothing, they have nothing to say. They're not even discussing it. Since when? Because it's like we struck a nerve. Why was Donnie always over on that area? Was he part of the Panda Bear Club? Is that what all this grooming is? Is this case being handed to the feds for the lead because this is much, much bigger than just our little summer? Are there springs and winters and falls? Are there a whole bunch of little peanuts that are being, you know what I'm saying? Is this the messages that Jody talks about when she says there's a whole group of them? When she says things like, the locals know what y'all don't know. And she was referring to between Ben Hill and Bailington. She has said that if Summer met her demise, she would expect, most likely she would be found between 110 Ben Hill and Bailington. And then the feds end up at Van Hill Road on Paul Hill's house, which is 4 miles away from the Panda Club. Hey, Good Vibes, my lovely. Good to see you. Thank you for the $5 snooper chat. Thank you, love. That is so kind of you. They're all related on that road. Could be. More Blood the Jenkins says, Hunter stated in his interview that the boys were at work with the monster, and somehow the boys were home and in the house with Grandis, Candace, Summer got home. Would that not imply the monster was home? You nailed it. I'm going to give you the goat. I'm giving you the goat. You've got headphones on, your boss is listening. Take them off or mute. Boom, shakalaka, boom. Who was pregnant? Can you say the initials? I don't even know what you're talking about. Harden, she got pregnant. What? To a Playboy gangster, and he called Playboy. What are y'all talking about? Just saying these people don't look like they have money to just replace a bumper on a truck. Weird. Yeah. Where don't you wonder? I mean, y'all could be like, well, Don had a really good job, but you know, he made that trip out there to prove to TBI that he didn't sell his daughter for rugs because he had plenty of money, blah, it wasn't no money, debt, and all this kind of stuff. But he went and blew $2,000 on extracurricular with the nightly ladies and some sniff it up, right? But what if that wasn't his paycheck? I wonder if he got paid a little bit for that peanut deal. Yeah, there's somebody on the property here who wants to touch the kids. Okay, honey, I'll be home soon. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Thank you for the goat. Boss is watching too, no worries. Oh, that one. What about the little one? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Samantha, hello. If you know, I think back and when Hunter and his daddy, it showed at one time he was on his pic and he was talking. It showed panda bears on his PC. I think best I can remember. Monsters under your bed. So Paul Hill did logging for Timberfell Resort. It's all gonna come out in the wash, isn't it? You know, it's just weird. It's just weird to me. So I'm gonna show you this too. Somebody threw this out there and I was like looking for it. And this is in the last year or so. Look at this. There's the red van parked by the bus back home again. So where was it? On the day that Summer went missing. And for the next 3 years after that, it was nowhere on that property. They come back from Arkansas and they got it. What about witchcraft and SRA? Honey, you aren't going to be of the good kind of people to be doing pedo crap. There's very much covens and weird stuff. We know that. We have the Lily Lid case where 6 people, young ones, were so wicked that they put an entire family with children in the ditch and took them out just to borrow the van for a little while when they already had their car. That happened legitimately across the road from the Panda Bear Club. Dudley is weird. Dudley is really weird. You agree about Dudley? Chris says, the lady of night also said that he owed $2,000 or $3,000 from the front the night he went in and got $2,000 more of the product the night you were just talking about. Could be. Also got over $5,000 COVID money while in Utah. They don't have money, just their habits. Could be. Well, June 20th would be the summer solstice. So if she was taken on the 15th but held until the 20th, it would be very scary because her name is literally Summer. And it's the summer solstice. Very, very scary. There are no quinky dinks, are there? Okay, did I play all this? I don't think I played this for you. Let's go ahead and play this.
I don't remember seeing it either.
Exactly. And, you know, and with Jody Sue saying red flash and this van disappearing and now reappearing so long after she came up missing, you know, that could be a red flag.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean,
All right, well, I just want to I'm sorry.
They can't search something that wasn't there.
And that would explain why they lost the scent.
They can't search something that wasn't there. And it could explain why they lost Summer's scent. I was listening to the dog handler explain it. That Summer had been put in a vehicle at the top of the hill would also give the same results, because as the vehicle drove down the driveway, it would be leaving that trace of Summer. But as it took off onto the road, it would be gaining speed, and therefore the dog would lose the scent. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep that up here. Then this red van is missing along the same time as Summer, only it's only missing for 3 years. Yes, Becky Allen. 5 days away from the summer solstice. I won't read that out loud, but you can read it, and you are correct. That does happen, and it is absolutely unbelievable, unthinkable. Right? Uh-huh. I'm just agreeing with all y'all. I'm not going to read all that. He definitely has many faces of dawn. That's 100%. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Chris says, now Hunter says after swimming, they went back to Candace and Dawn's came home. So how did Allie ever see Summer? Supposedly, they dropped off Hunter. Allie admitted before she passed that she never saw Summer in the vehicle, that she lied. Good point. Nikki wants us to remember this, and this is so important. Allegedly, Don tried to sell Don Jr., his firstborn. Literally, sell him. It tried hard, too. Samantha says, and not to mention the pick up the kids stay in the kitchen, looked so awkward. They looked like they had bruises and a tattletale sign of SA child is very silent and had frightened looks. I'm not sure what picture that is, love. I do have a very disturbing picture of Summer that makes me think that there was more to it. But I think you've all seen it. It's hard to look at, but I think there's more to it than just little Summer. But if she was taken, like, what if they planned it? All right, think about this. If they are into ritualistically doing things on the summer solstice, June 20th. And then you have a guy over here with peanuts for sale. In theory, you could tell him you'd like to buy the peanuts on the 15th. Take the peanuts from him. He can't do much. Because you can, you both be in a lot of trouble. You're in a fix if you rent out your kid, right? Just saying. So then, they could technically, because they're private members only, and their lodge is in the middle of absolutely nowhere, way deep in the mountains, across from Paul Hills, just saying. It would be very easy where nobody would see your captured peanut until the time was right for the summer solstice to do whatever kind of summer solstice rituals that you desire. It's disturbing. Oh, good vibes. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Ms. Led 222. What's weird is the family's media manager was also talking about summer solstice and those journey videos. His creepy way he was inserting himself in her case. How strange. Hardin Holly says, I haven't forgotten Sherfy Jr. lived near Evelyn Boswell and his dad stayed up on Ben Hill. Uh-huh. Think about Candace saying, I didn't know there was all these pedos and SAers around my property. Like, have you looked at how many there are? Well, if you got a peanut factory, you're going to have peanut people. Mimo says, I feel that Summer was in that vehicle for too long. Thank you for sharing, lovely. And you could be right. We have no proof of anything, right? I did look at killer stuff, Kylie. I looked at quite a bit. I will continue to look. He has my attention. There is no such thing as coincidences. I agree with that. I burst the silence by Bubbles. Hello, beautiful soul. Good to see ya. It's hard to look at that picture of Summer. Chat's flying, so forgive me if I'm reading and it's gone. Mary Edwards says, oh my goodness, just when you think it can't get much weirder. I'm saying, this whole Van Hill finding, if you have not watched last video, the last live we did, you will not believe what all we are talking about and where it went, because the way that worked out is just so bizarre, and I can't let some of this go. Like, where is this van? Where is this van? It's not there when TBI got there, but it was working before and being used before Summer went missing, and it disappears for 3 years. And then they come back from Arkansas, and now they got the van. Now it's there. Exactly, Tara. The place sounds like a free-for-all with no security and minimal staff. Also, there is year-round lodgers. They're not just weekend campers. Correct. There's weekend camping, and then there's all year cabins. Okay, thank you, Tara. Do little twos. Okay. Oh, I didn't even realize that, Helen. Thank you, thank you. Samantha says, hi, Mama D. I love watching you. I've been watching you ever since you started in this case. Well, really, when you just done the readings before Summer was missing, I just stay in the background and watch. I love you, Samantha. Thank you so much for being such a beautiful supporter and inspiring me. I appreciate you. Thank you. Killer Looks, great work on your videos. Yeah, Killer Looks does a good job. I'm not Killer Looks. Hold on. I need a drink. When you think about all the people that just die around Candace and Dawn, we did a video on that, from Dee Dee to Jose to Allison and Leslie, and there's more. There's way more. Even like Candace's sister going missing is so weird. Love and Light for All says, I believe there are powerful people behind all of these illicit activities. Very well could be. Ms. Letts, that's my opinion only. But I truly think Candace is as wicked as Dawn. Just saying, she could win the Academy Award for all of the BS. Shaking my head. I agree with you. I do. Becky Allen says CPS is negligent not taking these poor kids years after this tragedy. Yes, it's crawling. The hills are crawling with pedos. But if you were to take a honey pot, a big old fat honey pot, don't you think you're gonna attract a lot of flies? Samantha says, in my opinion, I think everyone on the hill is involved. Even they cover for each other, because no telling how long this has went on and other kids gone missing and no one realizes. Very, very possible. Kylie, it's the popcorn that's disappointing too. Right. It opened up Pandora's box. I think it opened up the panda box. Yep. Because if we're right, if the panda club is the honeypot, where all the flies are buzzing, bzzz, they would have to have a serious search warrant to get behind a private property club, right? Where you can come in as a businessman, pay your $20 fee for the year, that's it. And you have anonymity. Nobody knows who you are or that you were ever there. Yeah. What else is hidden behind those gates, right? They do have a lot of RSOs. So the question is it possible that Don and Candace did the unthinkable? Are they telling us the truth without telling us all of the truth? Was there something going on where Don's like, honey, there's some guy up here wanting to touch the peanuts, and she's like, I'll bring the peanut home. And that went all awry, and they effed themselves in a sense, because now all they can be is like, someone took her, trafficking, because they know. How do they know? Because they knew. They set it up. They just didn't know it was going to go that far. How many times has Dawn said, I hope they bring her back? Well, you would say that if your child was missing too. Hope they bring her back. But he literally makes it sound like that they borrowed her and he was expecting her back, but it didn't happen. He even, at one point, Don made some statement along the lines of, to someone, and I don't remember who he was talking to, but I remember this very clearly. How would you feel if you just got your daughter back and now she's missing again? What is he talking about? It's just wild. In your opinion, they still am at this low level? Could be, Helen. Hey, Mag, heard someone talking about missionary. Don't know what that meant. Could be missionary position. I don't know. Hey, Lynn, happy holidays to you, lovely. How are you? Wishing all the Christmas, all the children come back to us. I just think there's something to this. We've got too much grooming kind of energy going on. We got Girls Gone Wild on the TV. We got the vapes going on. We got the twisted teas. We got minor kids up there. We got SA allegedly. And we got neighbors, not just one, but several people are suggesting that have been in the household before that they were drugging the kids so that, things could be done to the peanuts, right? You got the Panda Bear Farm just down the road, Panda Bear Club. It's summer solstice on the 20th. She goes missing on the 15th. Was it a deal that went wrong? Like, it was wrong to start with in an unthinkable way. But then it went even more dark. It's just wild. Helen says money. Love and Light says, thank you for listening to all of us, Mama. Well, I love you. Thank you. They're complicit? Could be. I'll see her in the resurrection. Oh my golly. You think you're going to heaven if you was doing that? I do remember how they used to put the little faces of kids on the milk cartons. The kidnapping has gone on for a long time. Right. Bingo. They are the traffickers. I believe that they were grooming these children, right? Getting them hooked up on stuff, right? So then the kids are wanting to perform. Maybe the shed was where it all happened. Look at that dirty mattress outside the house. You think that came from the house? That may have come from the shed for all we know. Well, Tara Lovely, but in the news interview, Don said they didn't really know any of the neighbors. And then he said he did. He said that Don Sherfy was his best neighbor ever. And Don Sherfy don't even live there. Don's full of crap. Don's full of crap. All right, my lovelies, that is what I have for you today. Be sure and check out our other video. And that is This Just Got Weird, OMG, not clickbait. Go check it out. You'll have much more understanding of why I came to bring you all of this today. But in the meantime, somebody explain to me, where's the red van when TBI came? Remember, this is from down here, June 17th. Summer had only been missing 2 days. There's no red van on that property. 3 years later, the van's back. What do you know? It's parked by the school bus. That's got to mean something. Why would the red van be driven? And is it the dull, maroonish red color that was struggling to handle the driveway that Jody saw through the bushes and heard? Make you wonder, huh? They're all evil. I think you could be right. I think you could be right. I think they're all wicked. I really do. I love you guys. Please say a prayer for Summer Moon Utah Wells and all the missing children. And talking of a red truck, my neighbor owns a red truck, and there it goes. You want to say Merry Christmas to Jack? He's begging. He's trying to get in my lap. So we are done here, but I will show you Jack, and I'm sure then Lucky will come. You are just so heavy, Bubba. Okay. Hi, Jackson. Hi, Jackson, Mississippi. Are you good babies? Look how big his eyes look when he gets up at the desk. He's like, there's no food up here. You sure are sitting big and tall. You sure are sitting big and tall. I love you. I love you, Jackson. Watch this. Oh, he doesn't do it now? You love everybody, Jack. You're my baby. You're my baby. I love you. Say bye, everybody. See you soon, you guys. Love you. To the moon and back.